Powers 3, Truth and Consequences, by Rob Harper. Chapter 1.
In the field I am called the Truth.
Crimson knew who he was. When she first came to Wildebeest Foundation a few years ago, she had met him. Even then, she thought he was a bit of a tool. He was way too uptight. No wonder he's a teacher now. She didn't fault him for not recognizing her from back then. She had grown up a lot during the past few years. She had gone from an awkward young teen to a styling hip young adult.
That really doesn't have the impact of Captain Courage of Blue Point, does it?
It fits who I am and what I am.
You sound like a bloody Sunday school teacher, mate.
Crimson takes one last jab and gets a slight look of annoyance out of him. She sneers and then smiles. She realizes that she'll get more chances to annoy him before she has to go back to England for her final training. She was looking forward to that. Training with the combat room was one thing, but nothing could compare for some hands-on action. It was action she was looking for when she decided to join the Beta. Sure, her parents had both been Beta in their time, but she definitely wasn't doing it to impress them. The Truth jumped into the nearest elevator and disappeared, looking thankful he had gotten away from her. She smiles some more as she walks away to her temporary room. She barely sits down to write her mom and dad when the Claw walks into the room.
Hey, Crimson. Enjoying your stay at the home office?
Crimson thought the Claw was so cute, and she finds his lack of power so sexy. She doesn't even have time to flirt before Otis follows her boyfriend into the room. The good ones always have girlfriends.
Hello, Crimson. Ben and I were wondering if you wanted to come with us into town. It's no London, but I'm sure we could find something to do.
Otis was too perky for Crimson's liking. Some people thought Crimson was perky, but hers was a more sarcastic perk. But Melanie's perkiness was just a little irksome. Crimson tries to find an excuse not to go with them. She likes the two enough, but she just hates to be the third wheel. She's just about to give up and agree to go when the intercom buzzes in her room. She jumps up to answer, praying that it's someone to save her.
Hello?
Crimson, I'm glad I caught you. I know you're probably a little busy, but I was wondering, could you come to my study?
Sure, Prof. I'm on my way.
Crimson turns to Ben and Melanie and tries her best to look crestfallen.
Sorry, guys. It seems like Prof needs me. Maybe next time. No problem, Crimson. See you later.
Ben and Melanie walk out, and Crimson wonders if she'll ever get used to being here when she does become a full-fledged Beta. Oh well, no time for that. Off to see the Prof, and hopefully get some action around this place. Crimson wonders how her parents and the old Beta ever had any fun in this place. It's so boring. Professor Wildebeest's office is furnished in oak and leather, which reminds Crimson of her dad's study back in England. She once heard that no one has changed this office since it was the original Professor Wildebeest back in the day. The current professor is sitting behind his desk, reading a compupad, when she knocks and enters.
You rang, Professor?
Crimson can't help but feel odd being in the same room with the Professor Wildebeest. Around her house, he and the other original Beta are talked about like great footy stars. She almost wants to ask him for an autograph.
Oh, Crimson, it's good to finally meet you. Mano, hey, Mano. I believe I was on sabbatical last time you visited. How has your stay been this time?
Crimson's first impression of the Prof is of a kindly old uncle, which in a way he is, although he wasn't around as much as Uncle Alex or Connor. He was always too busy running the school here. Crimson had gone to the London branch of the Foundation, which until a few years ago was run by her mother.
Everything and everybody's been top-notch Professor.
Crimson is rarely caught for a loss of words, but she was a little now.
Don't be so ceremonial, Crimson. I watched you born. You're pretty much family, and I think we can be a little more informal. You can call me Prof if you'd like.
Wildebeest smiles a feigned grin, and Crimson is instantly put at ease.
Keen, Prof. Oh, and my mom and dad told me to say hi for them. They also say sorry for missing the reunion, but you know how it is.
Yes, I definitely know how hard it is.
Wildebeest smiles more, and Crimson thinks of a Cheshire cat from Alice in Wonderland.
Professor Starr tells me you're an extraordinary psi talent, on top of his class.
Yes, sir. I really like how Professor Starr teaches.
Crimson beams. She rarely does anything well in school, but out of boredom rather than inability. But she likes to excel at her psi classes.
Oh, yes. I had forgotten that Starr likes to be more informal in his curriculum. I wonder how my students would react if I'd asked them to call me just wildebeest. No, I don't think it sounds right. All that aside, I called you in here for a reason. I know how this place must be for someone coming from a big city like London. So I thought you might be interested in a mission.
Crimson's eyes light up, and she instantly knew she would love it here. A mission already, and she hasn't even finished her schooling yet. Too cool for words.
Of course, Prof. Anything you want, I'm there.
Oh, this is a simple mission, but I don't like to send my people out alone. We were supposed to have a new recruit go, but she broke her arm in a training incident. So now there's a space open. I'd ask someone else, but everyone here is still a little shook up over the mess in the city with the followers of Warp and all. I promised them some time off. Congo Knight has gone back to his home in Africa. Portal and Thrust have gone to their respective parents' places, and I can't bring myself to ask the Claw and Otis to cut their vacation short. What do you say?
Prof, I am there. Just point the way.
Okay, then. All we will be doing is a simple recruitment mission in the city. My Psi Corps have located and printed up a description of a new power. We want to see if he wants to join us here at the Foundation to train and maybe become a beta. The mission is to start soon, so why not meet us downstairs in, say, a half an hour?
Sounds great, Professor.
Crimson smiles and starts for the door to go and get ready.
I'll go and tell the truth that you're on your way.
It takes Crimson a few steps to register what the Prophet just said. No, not the truth. There goes any chance of having fun on this mission. Crimson's step loses a little spring, and only the prospect of further ribbing on the old schoolmarm keeps her from faking an illness to get out of it. That'll teach her to agree to something before she hears the catch. Crimson dresses in her favorite clothes, just the right ones, that'll make her look cool and dark with a sexy undertone. A two-piece dark blue catsuit, pockets, belts bulging with utilities. Sure, the utilities aren't much, but then again, what utilities does a psychic really need? It's all about aesthetics. Crimson heads downstairs trying to look bemused with the situation. Why get her knickers in a bunch unnecessarily? The elevator pings on its way down to the basement, and Crimson prepares her best grin. The doors open, and there is Professor Wildebeest and the Truth waiting for her. She almost laughs when she sees the Truth's face drop.
All right.
George, meet your new partner.
Somewhere deep inside she can tell the Prof is enjoying this. She is definitely going to enjoy him as a headmaster. A big step up from her mother, who is as stern as she could be with Crimson.
All right, Georgie. My name's Crimson. Remember me? You can shut your mouth now.
Great. Let's get this over with.
He recovered quickly, and Crimson sees a challenge ahead of her. It might take a lot to shock this guy like that again. Crimson meets back up with her new partner in the hangar, where a wild truck that the Truth likes is waiting for them. Crimson smiles again at the prospect of annoying this uptight wanker. The two start to pack the wild truck, and Crimson eyes her quarry.
You'll get used to me, mate.
If you last that long.
Well, that's nice. Perhaps you should change your crappy code name to Encouragement.
Perhaps.
The Truth almost seems bored by Crimson now. Crimson has never been accused of being boring before. She's been a lot of things, but never boring.
What is it with you, man? Why don't you like me?
Crimson almost falls into a plead, but she recovers her dignity a bit to hear the Truth's answer.
I think you are rash, loud, and I can't trust who I can't read.
The Truth almost opens up to her, and for a split second she nearly understands and respects her quiet partner.
Is that it? Is that all? Well, fine. My defenses are down. Read what you bloody well like, and tell me what you see.
The Truth stares intently at Crimson, and she feels him work his way past her lowered defenses. She hates to let people in. Maybe he'll be a little less uptight when he sees that she's just your average hot, psychic power who craves adventure and heroics. The Truth's face goes a little blanche as he picks up her need for adventure and risk.
I think you're going to be bad for business. But in all honesty, I could be lying.
Crimson just looks at him, and then laughs.
Is that your idea of a joke? Very funny. Let's get this over with.
The two get into the wild truck and head off to what they both hope will be their last assignment together.
So where are we going anyway?
Crimson decides that rather than sitting in silence the whole way to the city from the Foundation, she might as well make some small talk. The first half hour of their trip was spent arguing over what radio station we were going to listen to. The Truth wanted classical music, while Crimson's idea of classical is The Clash, so the radio was turned off, and they sat quietly as the countryside rolled by.
A bar.
Maybe this mission won't be such a drag after all.
The Truth just looks back at her and then goes back to watching the road again.
So what's it like for your granddad to come back? I can only imagine what it would be like to see my granddad's spaceship. He has one, you know. It's called the...
Crimson stops halfway through when she sees the look on Truth's face after she mentioned his grandfather.
Sorry. I sometimes don't think about what I'm saying.
It's okay. And to answer your question, it was strange to say the least. He didn't even know who I was.
The Truth never takes his eyes off the road.
Why didn't you tell him? From what the history books say, he was a right old bastard in his time. I think he needs to give you some explanations.
Crimson had heard about Warp's return on the news, but her own parents informed her what a truly evil man he was. She hadn't met the resurrected Warp, but from what she heard, she wouldn't be surprised if he took over a country or two before the Beta saw the last of him.
I didn't think it was necessary to tell him who I was. I doubt he would have taken the circumstances of my birth lightly. And with my mother gone and my father already mostly dead, I didn't want my grandfather finishing the job.
The Truth gave the definite impression that he was done talking about his family, so Crimson went back to singing classic punk songs in her head.
To be continued.
If I wanted to support an independent radio program, how would I go about doing that? Buying their swag. And how would I go about buying their swag? I would visit the website. And what is that website, Rob Harper?
cafepress.com/Vinland Old Time Radio.
It would be lemonparty.com.
No, it's cafepress.com/Vinland Old Time Radio. I'm pretty sure. I set it up. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Okay. Well then, certainly if I want to buy some high-quality merchandise with the Vinland Old Time Radio logo on it, to impress your friends and family.
And pick up chicks. cafepress.com/Vinland Old Time Radio.